Fast, free delivery from the Home Depot makes your projects hassle-free. Forget something you need? Visit HomeDepot.com or the Home Depot app for free delivery on millions of products, including same-day and next-day options. Get delivery at the speed you need, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Order select in-stock items by 4 p.m., subject to availability.
We have been told that we are the big boys in town.
Well, he's yapping. He's into it. I'm talking about he is like lit.
He's about to start preaching.
Let everybody say amen.
I can get chills a little bit thinking about what these two guys could be.
Falcons Audible continues here, presented by AT&T. That's DJ Shockley, Dave Archer, I'm Derek Rackley here, and we are here to recap a unfortunate 27-24 loss to the New York Jets on the road. Before we get to all of that, everybody, first of all, hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend in all of the football that was on. Guys, how much football did you guys watch this weekend? A lot, a little?
Drunk on football.
A little bit, because obviously my dogs had a game Friday.
Yeah,
so
you were
kind of
busy.
Kind of busy Friday.
Yep.
I did watch a lot Saturday, though. I give you that. So a lot Saturday. So I was a little drunk on
Arch,
Saturday.
how about you?
Did you say you were a little drunk? Or
Yeah, a little drunk on
football.
On football.
Arch didn't say you was drunk.
I'll tell you what, the Tech Georgia game would be enough to get you drunk. It wasn't nothing went on in that game. I watched a lot of football, no question about it. The 3 pro games, certainly on Thursday, kind of sprinkled those in around the meal.
Yeah.
And then we waited for Tech that night. But there was some good games leading up to Tech, or Tech and Georgia. Sorry,
I was
Georgia.
going to say you waited for Tech. What? What?
That's like blasphemous to shot.
What
You said you waited for the Tech game?
Tech, Georgia. Georgia. Well, we could do a whole podcast on whether Georgia wants to be in the SEC title game right now or not, but we won't do that.
It's a quick answer. I know that. I'll tell you that.
Then you had all the football on Saturday.
Exactly.
I mean, there was a lot of impactful football. And then who wasn't just sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for Lane Kiffin to make his decision? Come on.
Yeah.
Did we overblow that?
It was one of the most
Speaking of
teased
getting
things.
3 fingers of whiskey and wandering off into a room.
Man.
So yesterday/Sunday was a busy day in the SEC. A whole lot of new coaches getting named there. We will not go into the details there, but I'm sure you guys all saw it through your socials and everything.
Hey, Rat, let me ask y'all
Yes,
something.
sir.
With Thanksgiving just passing, people always say, what's your favorite dish? I got a good quick question.
Okay.
People always say, what's your favorite dish? But I got a twist on it. What is something you could do without on Thanksgiving? Like for me, I give you a thing. I don't need cranberry sauce. It's ridiculous to me.
I love it.
Why we got it on the table? I don't even want to look at it. The texture of it, I ain't with it. What is it serving the purpose? I don't like it.
What kind of cranberry sauce you got, though? Are you doing the jellied cranberry sauce or are you doing the one that's got the full berries in it?
Don't matter.
He said he don't even need it.
Cranberry sauce is that little bit of sugar that's in the mix. I got cranberry sauce on my plate.
I ain't with it.
Now, ain't nobody
That's
else.
me.
There's nobody
That's me.
else in my family that wants it.
See what I'm saying?
So it's
See what
down-
I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's
I ain't
down-
allowed.
Shock said, I'll save the sweets for the dessert.
You know what I'm saying?
Let
Give me
the
a little
cranberry
banana
sauce go.
pudding or something. I'm in there. But,
I'm trying to think.
And I don't like pies either. I don't like pies. Canned pie,
You're making a lot of
pumpkin
people
pie,
angry
apple
right
pie.
now.
I don't like no pies. So. give me some cake or something.
You know
give
what?
me the pudding.
You know what? Next year you get to eat at the kids' table.
That's not with me. I don't like I eat cranberry sauce.
Oh, man.
What y'all got? What y'all got? What's something like you like? All right,
What
I don't
I
need
could,
it.
I could do without.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do without any of it. Can you do something?
I'll tell you this. I'm not a pecan pie person. I'm not. I've never
If
liked
you had
pecans.
you had my mother's pecan pie, you would.
I know people who say they don't like green bean casserole.
Now bring it. Like that's
Like that?
got to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got to be there.
There's a lot
Mashed
of
potatoes
people
and
that-
gravy.
that
Bring
were
it.
Disrespecting green bean casserole. That's
so,
okay.
So you a foodie then?
Yeah, I like all of it on there. If I had to take something off, and this is a very reluctant takeoff, would be the sweet potato casserole.
Okay.
But I like that too. That's a little bit of that,
Yeah.
that's a little bit of that sweet thing that maybe the cranberry sauce replaces.
Are you one of them guys that like my food can't touch kind of guy? Like I got to put portion on you.
No, it
put it all
can't-
together. Okay,
yeah.
okay, cool.
Oh yeah,
I got gravy
No, my
on everything.
my oldest daughter is like that. She don't want nothing to touch.
Nothing to touch.
I said, what do you think gonna happen in your stomach?
It's all coming together, baby.
All coming
She
together.
don't have to see that. She don't have to see that.
Write us in the comments. Tell us the one thing that you could do without
thank you.
during Thanksgiving, or
Come with
tell us
cranberry
what
sauce.
you gotta have have every Thanksgiving, whether it's the main dish, whether it's the sides, or it's the desserts. Let us know.
I'll tell you another thing I could have done without.
What's that?
Yeah,
Was
see,
a
it's coming
Falcon
up.
loss.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Before we get
Probably
to
the top of the
that,
list right there.
before we get to that, Pro Bowl voting is open
Wrapped his
now, so
shoulders.
make sure.
He just put his head down and started soldiering.
Hey,
on.
look, I'm like Tyler Algier. I'm just trying to plow through this,
I
okay?
Do that thing, my
Pro
boy.
Bowl voting is open now. Make sure you vote for your favorite Falcons, Bijan Robinson. Who else are we voting for, guys? Mike
okay,
Ford?
guys that are in the mix now. Bradley Pinion, the punter. I know you don't want to hear about that, but Bradley Pinion is doing a hell of a job for you.
Changing
Punting
the field,
football,
bro, for sure.
doing a good job there. He's evidently, from what I gather, I looked at some of the numbers. Brad's up there near the top. So if we
Nice.
can bump him over with some fan voting, Bijan Robinson's near the top. How about Brandon Dorless? Brandon Dorless has surfaced as one of the, and we're going to see a couple of, we'll talk about this, we're going to see some defensive linemen this weekend, by the way, that can play. And a couple of these guys are up near the top of the Pro Bowl voting.
Yep.
But Brandon Dorless is sitting there in that 6'7" range as far as defensive tackles go. Get Brandon. He deserves a shot. He's one of those guys, unsung guys.
Make sure your fan vote is heard, is collected, is registered. Okay?
Registered.
Make sure it's all done. Pro Bowl fan voting is open now. All right, let's go ahead and revisit this game, guys. We've done this last couple weeks. Let's revisit some keys here. Shock, I'm going to start with you. Yours was contain the quarterback.
Ooh.
Good one.
Like that one.
we're on that.
So yeah, this is one
didn't do
now. This is one now that we actually you were on this one, Shock, because
we didn't do
Tyrod
that.
Taylor he
a
got
big
out of the pocket and made some things happen. So
Yeah.
what's your verdict on containing the quarterback?
So Tyrod had 44 yards of rushing. I was like, no. 44 yards in this game. 36 of them came in the second half when
And
he
a
hurt
touchdown.
you. And a tutty to tie the ball game up or, get him to a tie, which was not good. He got out on one big play out to that right side over there, was a big run for him. So, for the most part, you tried to keep him contained, but then there was those moments where he got out and made plays on you. I mean, my man James Pierce Jr. damn near ripped off his whole right shoulder to try to get him on the ground and ripped his shirt and everything.
Separated his clothing.
Yeah, it couldn't get him down. So, my key did not fare well in this one. So.
Did not fare well. Contributed to the loss there. Yeah. Arch, ball security. I think about offense, and I'm like, gosh, this wasn't so bad. And then I think about special teams, and I'm like, oh, goodness.
Yeah, we didn't get it done. You can't make that play. That can't happen. I can't say can't enough on that. So ball security encompasses obviously offense, or any time you have a chance to secure the football for us from a possession standpoint.
Arch, I think I know
didn't
the
do that.
rule, but I don't know if the rule is. Remember that?
Yeah, there's a rule attached to that. I think they've flexed the rule a little bit. It used to be heels at 10. Now I think it's heels at 8, but not
5?
heels at 4
No.
or 5 or whatever it was. So, yeah, that's a screw-up. So far, Shock and I are hitting 100% here on what we didn't get done.
Let me just
Save us, Rack.
bring a little bit. So think of it as a returner now. They're talking about heels at 10, heels at 8, right? Like as a punt returner, you're supposed to set your heels. It was traditionally 10-yard line, and then Raheem said it's now since moved back to the 8-yard line, maybe trying to give returners an opportunity to go make a play. But what that means is once your feet are set, you take one step back, you're not fielding the ball. That's generally the rule. You're either fair catching and running, you're immediately running, but you are playing the odds that ball is going to hit the turf and carry them into the end zone. Part of the reason you do that is because of what happened in the game last weekend, because you end up backpedaling, you don't see it right, whatever may ends up happening, and the ball ends up getting muffed, and you end up giving them just prime field position turned into points. Mine. Minimize explosives. Guys, through the most part of the game, there wasn't too many explosives. However,
There was one.
I think of two. I think of a return,
Oh, yeah.
and I think of a ball that went right down the middle where our defensive back fell down. And those
Mitchell.
ones hurt.
Absolutely.
Those two explosive hurt. Outside of that, yeah, you had Tyrod get out a couple of times, but there wasn't a whole lot of explosive run plays, a bunch of chunk passing plays. But you look at the two, which were very costly explosives.
Pretty bad when all our
ends up
keys lead to
netting-
touchdowns.
That one, Natron Brooks, give him credit, scrambles back and gets the returner on the ground, and the defense comes in a short field sudden change situation and gets a stop, forces a field goal, but it's still costs you 10 points. The touchdown you're talking about that Hughes falls down on, and then, of course, the return. But, yeah, and I went back and looked for plays. Usually a play they call explosive, 15 yards or more is kind of the general rule. And that they had 2, the 2 you talked about. Other than that, the defense gave up 1. That's the best you've been all year long defensively, but it netted 7 points.
That's how I run, too. That's another.
It didn't go over 15. He had a 14-yard run.
Thought it was 24. No?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I could settle the debate.
Yeah.
I can settle the
Sell
debate.
it. Sell it.
Tyrod Taylor, longest run, 14 yards.
I told you, Arch.
Yeah, you were with me.
Yeah. Dang, I was
All
right.
right,
I told you you're drunk over at Georgia Tech.
Fellas, we kind of we recapped our keys, and those were some things that directly led to them losing. But let's talk a little bit more in depth, Shock, on what led to the loss. There's probably a number of different ways that you can go. But Shock, when you think about this game, the first couple things that come to your mind that cannot happen were what?
Well, I think the first 2 we already talked about. Obviously, 10 points off special teams. That's hard to overcome. Yeah. We mentioned, obviously, giving the ball up on the 2-yard line. It's hard to stop a team regardless of the sudden change and how good you want to be on defense. That's going to be tough to do anyway. So that's 7 on the board. And obviously, the big return led to a field goal. Thank goodness for John Mechie dropping the football right there. We appreciate that. Only giving up a football, only giving up a field goal there. But also, I think in the first half, there were opportunities on the offensive side of the ball to score more points. And I thought they did a good job of moving the football, but it felt like soon as you got on the other side of the field, you got in the plus territory, you got an opportunity to get in their side of the field, you bogged down. And then a lot of it was, I look up and we talk about third down being an issue. Yeah, you're 4-12 in the ball game, but a lot of the third downs in this ball game weren't like 3rd and 9 or 10. They were 3rd and medium. They were 3rd and 5 or 6, and you still couldn't convert. So I thought that was a big part of it as well. And even though you didn't get the points that, you thought you probably could have when you're moving the football and you bogged down, I still got to give Raw a lot of credit because there were opportunities in this game where you probably were around midfield, 45-yard line. You say, you know what, I can go for it. And you didn't. And he kicked the football, and punted the football, and played the field position. And ultimately, we know that was kept him in. Didn't really feel like Jets' offense could go. Well, they ended up doing it later in the ball game, go 15 plays. But this was early in the game, their offense was sputtering too. So I gave him a lot of credit for punting that football when I'm sitting there watching like, go, Raw, go, let's go. Come on, we need more. And that's why he's a head coach and had an opportunity to kick those football. But I thought early in the ball game, you definitely bogged down when you got on the other side of the field, which ultimately could have led to more points, which could have led to them kind of getting out of the ball game and feeling like, all right, we got to play catch up, and it changed the whole dynamic of the game. If you score more points, especially early in the ball game on those opportunities when you get to that plus territory.
So missed opportunities, 33% on third down. Arch, what are some of the things that you look at when you say, gosh, this was directly led to them losing the game?
Well, the obvious one is special teams, and Shock just touched on that.
Yep.
My concern is where's the clutch play? Where is making the play in the key moments? We've talked about how there's 60 plays or 65 plays of offensive football and defensive football as well. It's not just on the offense. And there's 4 or 5 plays that are going to go one way or the other.
Yep.
How do you make sure that we have more of those plays than the other team does? And it just seems like we're not coming up with that. And you look at the ability to move the ball into plus territory, like Shock said, and then there's a negative play. You get a tackle for loss, and we can't overcome it. There's a 5-yard penalty. You can't overcome it. It's maddening. And then you look at the final drive of the first half, you go right down the field, and the execution is off the charts. We're blocking, we're catching, we're distributing the ball on time. Guys are making tough catches. I mean, you go right down the field and shove it in the end zone, right? You come out, you get a 3-and-out defensively, which is what you needed to do. You take the ball and you go right down the field again. Yeah. And this included a clutch play on the first play of the drive that starts the second half. Bijan Robinson gets tackled Tyler Algier gets tackled for a 2-yard loss. It's 2nd and 12 on your own 7-yard line. They hand to Algier. Algier goes around the corner for about 20 yards, gets 2 key blocks on the edge. He blows through one guy and gets 15, 20 yards on the play. And boom, right down the field you go.
Yep.
and you put a touchdown on the board. Execution off the charts on both those drives. Then all of a sudden, you go into, it's like, you took some Benadryl or something like that, and all of a sudden we're getting kind of drowsy, you know, and we're not playing with the same sense of urgency, like there's a relax or something. I don't know. It's really hard to put your finger on, but to me that's where it's just make the clutch play, make the play you have a chance to make to keep things going. Want the ball to come to you. We all played. I remember my dad used to pound in my head. I played shortstop when I was coming up playing baseball. Loved playing baseball, and he said every time the ball's pitched, want the ball to be hit to you.
Coming to you.
Want the ball to be hit to you. Already know what you're going to do with it when it gets there.
Yep.
You've already, you know where the runners are, all that kind of stuff. Want the ball to come to you. You want the opportunity. I talked to Kyle Pitts for the radio show this week. Kyle was my player spotlight. Kyle had a good game, 7 catches, 82 yards, and he ran and played with a ferocity when the ball came his direction. Now, you can debate whether he should have caught the rail route at the end of the game. I thought the ball placement was in a tough spot for him, but a tough play. But all that being said, I asked him, I said, how much do you walk in there and say, get me the damn ball? And at some point, I almost feel like that's the mentality, not to be divisive or disruptive, but that mentality to permeate all the guys. I want the ball. Get it to me.
Yes.
Give me an opportunity. I don't sense that, guys. I just don't sense that. And I think that there's guys that are capable of that. The one dog that I know we have hasn't been able to play the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. And Arch, I think what's great about that, because I love that you threw that out, like whether or not a guy goes into the huddle and says, Kirk, throw me the ball. Now, Kirk doesn't have to throw him the ball because the play might develop and he might be covered, or he might trip, or they might sink 2 players underneath him, whatever the case may be. But it's the whole mindset that everybody in the huddle said, oh, this dude wants the rock.
Yeah.
Okay? So I love that, and I think it needs it more. So I'm going to call out the elephant in the room. You kind of went there a little bit, but even with all that happened, even with everything that you guys talked about, still had a chance to win the game.
True.
Still had a chance to win the game.
Again.
True.
Final drive, 3 plays, debatable, 3 drops. Okay, yeah, the one with Kyle's tough. But here's what I will say, guys. Like, this is the National Football League. At the end of the game, they're all going to be tough.
Absolutely.
So you got to go make tough catches.
True.
Okay, so that one. And then Sills has the one over the middle that he's not able to bring in. And then Mooney has the one that's right in his hands coming across the middle as well. He's not able to bring it in. You had 3 chances to move the chains and keep the drive alive.
Yeah.
Kirk gave him an opportunity, and we didn't have anybody make the play. And that's the part that's probably the most frustrating for me, was that with all the crap that happened in the game that went the wrong way, you still had a chance to win the game.
Very true.
All you had to do was get about 30 yards to get yourself in field position for an opportunity to kick what might have been a game-winning field goal. Okay?
So, Rack, where do you go though? I mean, we the 3 of us have been in a lot of games, a lot of meetings, a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of practices. When you got a team that's struggling for those clutch plays, because we can go line item by line on them, just the way you described it. You go to New England, make 1 throw, you kick a field goal, win the game. You go to Berlin, you tackle a quarterback on 3rd and 21, you win the game. If you catch the slant that Kirk throws with 2.5 minutes to go, and Canales has burned all his time, you're going to beat Carolina. You're going to win the game without changing anything. That you just described exactly the way this. So what do you do? Let's say, put you in Raheem's seat. What do you tell the team with that kind of overriding cloud? Because it feels like a cloud is over them. How do we burst through and do that?
You said burst through. Like the first thing that I was thinking of is if I'm head coach, is saying, I'm looking for somebody that wants to be different, that wants to break through, because this team needs that. And you can single it out. You can say, and I'm not talking about Drake London, because he's proven to this team that he can do that. But guess what? Drake London may not be able to play right now. Right. So who else is ready to be the alpha, to break through, to say, give me the ball, and to actually go out there and make the play? And that's what I would say this league is about. But Shock, you could say this, Arch, about the college game. Like, you get into big college games, the same thing can be said. You need your quarterback to make a special throw. Yeah. You need your wide receiver to make a special catch, your tight end to make a special catch. You need your running back to break a special tackle that looks like it's a 3rd and 4 that's going to be stopped for 2. Instead, he picks up 6, right? Those are the plays that take you to the next level, that get you the first down. Then everybody just gets a little bit more energized. Like, we got this. But sometimes you need 1 or 2 plays, and somebody's got to break through.
And that's where you get back to wanting to be that guy that takes his team to the next level.
Hit it to me.
Call me.
I want the rock. I want the ball. I like that. Yeah. You look back on it and you say, man, there's so many great opportunities that this team has had. And it's hard not to play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game when it comes down to those 1 or 2 plays at the end of the ballgame. And that's what hurts, I think, for Falcons fans. And we understand it fully because we watch it in the same light now. Is we want this team to be good. We want this team to win ball games. And when it comes down to those moments at the end of ball games, you don't see those guys come through in those clutch moments. You question it as well. And I think that's where your question comes from, is there's so many guys who are right there. You're literally on the cusp of changing what this season could look like by that one play, and you don't get it done. It's frustrating. So I'm not sure what the answer is or how you overcome that, but I think consistently doing it over and over and over again in game gives you that opportunity, gives you that confidence to do it. But we just haven't seen that consistent, solid play, especially down the stretch.
I just keep hearing the narrative that we've got to scheme our way to a win. In this league, you've got certain things you can do, and there may be a couple of nuances you have in a game, but ultimately it comes down to the players playing against each other and making plays. We all played the game. And I don't remember going into a game and we're going to completely out-scheme them here. Yeah. Okay? You might have a play or two that contributes to that. And I think that if there's some plays that go for touchdowns, then that's probably what you've done there from a scheme standpoint. You've created, but ultimately it comes down to what Rack talked about. You got 3 plays at the end of the game, make a catch. You got a play to get the quarterback on the ground. At some point, the guys standing over on the sidelines with the hats and the vests and the really cool outfits and stuff that we give out for the coaches, they're not making any of the plays.
Right.
And so if you're put in a position to do that, but I just keep hearing this narrative, we need to coach them better. You're in position. There's nothing else they can do for you other than to go make the plays. And I know
Marquise can't go out and catch that punt for him.
Yeah, Marquise says 8. Heels at 8. Rack just described it. Heels at 8. If the ball's going over your head, that means I can't go back any further.
It's not a coach thing.
There's nothing the coach can do with that. And I keep hearing this narrative about changing coaches on sports radio and all this kind of stuff. What's that do? That sets you back. I don't want to get into the depths of that, but just I hope you guys sense that we're frustrated as much as you guys are from a fan standpoint. We've been in those meetings. We understand what you're going through from a mental standpoint. Who do I point the finger at? Well, you can point the finger at everybody in the room because there's not one person that's culpable. But the only people that have a chance to change the game in the game are the players.
True.
That's my take on that.
It's kind of hard to come away with a loss like this to talk about positives. Bijan Robinson was special once again.
My goodness.
It's one thing that you can count on.
Goodness gracious.
23 carries, 142 yards, had another 5 catches, 51 yards. The kid just shows each and every week how freaking special he is. So if there's one thing you can say, I'm glad he's on this team. Yeah. I'll tell you that much. But sometimes it's just hard to come away from a loss like this that's so painful to be like, oh, he played really good. You know what I mean?
Well, and he did though, Rack. But the things you don't count on your punt returner dropping the football on the 5-yard line, which gives them 7. You don't count on a 85-yard kickoff return that gives them 3. You look up, you win 24-14.
Yeah.
Just take those 2 plays away, and I know you can't do that, if and ands and candy and nuts and all that kind of stuff with Merry Christmas and all that. But you've coached yourself into position and put players on the field to make plays. And Bijan Robinson has 200 yards of total offense. and make some delirious moves on guys. There's guys up there still that are probably in concussion protocol and didn't even get hit because their brain got spun around because the Matrix just put it on them.
Yep.
Right? But, boy, it's maddening.
To your point, Arch, Mike, I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself, but one of my keys this week is a special teams win. And when I say special teams win, I don't mean that they have to get a kickoff return for a touchdown or block a punt. It's just do what you're supposed to do, right?
Don't stay in your lane.
Don't give up
Stay
an
in your lane.
explosive play. Yeah. Don't give up points. And yeah, maybe you end up with a good return that starts the offense at the 50-yard line. But a special teams win to me is making the tackles, making the decisions, maybe setting yourself up with good field position, making the kicks that you're supposed to make, right? To me, that's a special teams win. And to your point, if they would have just done that, they likely come away with a 10-point victory.
True.
Right? Other thing I wanted to mention, Devin Tompkins, standard elevation from the practice squad, got a few touches, looked really good.
Paid dividends. Yeah.
Maybe they've got a little something there with how quick and fast he is.
Well, and there goes in the idea of Raheem trying to switch stuff up, put other people on the field. They did some stuff like that with special teams as well. They had a couple different guys on special teams to the point where you had a guy that was a Pro Bowler last year on special teams. He was a healthy scratch. He didn't play because they're trying to get guys on the field to make some plays. Yep. And Tompkins came on the field. Not only did he play pretty solidly from a special teams perspective, he's a return guy. You may see him return punts this week for all we know.
Yep.
But he made some huge plays on offense.
So they lose a game to the now 3-9 Jets, and they get to welcome in a team with the exact opposite record, 9-3 Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about how do you rebound after a loss like that? Well, you got the 9-3 Seahawks coming in, which some would probably debate one of the better teams in the National Football League right now, and I would say probably one of the best collective defensive fronts in the National Football League. So, Arch, let's get into this. What are the Falcons going to be facing with the Seattle Seahawks team? We know that they've got a really good defense. Statistically, all the numbers are there. They've got defensive linemen, they got linebackers, they got secondary players. They got a quarterback in Sam Darnold that looks like he is finally playing up to where he was initially drafted coming into the league. And they have, I don't know if you can say arguably, the best receiver, if you want to look at stats right now in the National Football League, Jackson Smith.
Those are for losers.
So, yeah, stats are for losers, but I'll take his stats any day of the week.
Yeah,
so Arch, what is this animal that the Falcons will be welcoming into town this weekend?
Yeah, it'll be the key for me is what you talked about right at the beginning, Rack, is can you block them? You're going to have to keep the quarterback clean. Give him an opportunity. That'll mean challenge them in the run game. You got to be able to come off the ball. We played the game on the Jets side of the line of scrimmage in a run game. And that'll be Seattle's number one focus in this game is they want to try to keep Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier from being able to rush for 150 yards in the game. One, it allows you to possess the football. For the first time in several weeks, Atlanta held the ball for about 32, 33 minutes in this game against the Jets. True. That's not what Seattle wants. Seattle wants to be able to do that to you. They've got two good running backs, and Rack talked about the quarterback and the receiver. So I'll stay on the defensive side. To me, you've got to be able to block their front four, and they'll mix in some pressures. You know, Coach McDonald's a really good defensive coach. That's where his bread is buttered. I said it right this time. How about that?
You got that thing spot on.
So,
spot on.
Is it?
Yeah, after you get a couple reps, it just flows off the tongue.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
But I think that's to me the key for me is getting a block. They've got 4 guys that have 5 sacks or more on the defensive side of the football.
What they say right now?
4 guys with 5 sacks or more. Sorry, I read you.
Wow, that's just
what I try to do is I always try to read Shock's notes before we come in here.
Yeah, I know. Smart thing to do.
But I'll stop talking because I'm going to take all of Shock's notes. But no, that to me, that's where the game is going to give it. That's going to give Atlanta a chance to win. Yeah. I'm not going to say just because you block them, you're going to win the game because we blocked the Jets. We had 25 first downs on offense. We had 150 yards more offense, and we lost the football game. So blocking them is going to give your best opportunity and you hope Drake can play. Drake is now day-to-day. Raheem mentioned in his press conference on Monday that Drake is back to day-to-day, not week-to-week. Week-to-week would mean he's probably not going to play this week, but day-to-day means he might have an opportunity.
Like that.
Shock. I was telling you guys before the show, I called a Seahawks game on Monday Night Football on national radio. It was against the Texans. I flew all the way out to Seattle, and I watched this Seahawks defensive front terrorize the offensive line from the Houston Texans. And I watched a talented C.J. Stroud look completely out of sorts. Okay? So what does that mean this weekend? Seahawks coming off a 26-0 victory over the Vikings, which the three defensive linemen that I like to highlight is Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Byron Murphy. By the way, all three of those guys had a sack last weekend, okay? Yeah. So take this where you will, but how much of a challenge do they face defensively? Not just this defensive front, but they got linebackers that can tackle, and they got guys in the secondary that are probably towards the top of their position.
Ernest Jones, Wusu. I mean, you're talking about really good athletic linebackers that can run, that can go east and west, that'll be downhill on you. Talk about the guys up front. Just to add a little bit more to what Archer's talked about, 40 sacks on the season, 17 guys with at least a half a sack or more. That's telling you dudes are getting after it. This is not just D-line, but this is linebackers. This is safeties. This is all these guys are getting a part of it. They turn you over as well. 13 interceptions on the year. They forced 6 fumbles, and guess what? They recovered 5 of them. So these dudes want the football, and they're after you. It's going to be a huge challenge for sure. Every week we talk about a defensive front or a couple of defensive guys that you know is going to be tough to handle, and you got to find ways to get the football out of your hand. I think Zach's going to have a really good plan to get the ball out of Kirk's hand. He's going to watch this film just like everybody else has, just like we have, just like you did with the Texans. He's going to say, you know what? That'd be dumb for me to allow Kirk to sit back there and go 7-step drop and try to throw the football over the yard. That's not going to happen. The run game has to get going. Like Art mentioned, you got to challenge them and challenge their run game. We're going to have to challenge them in the run game as well, because we've seen over the past 2 weeks when Kirk has time in that play-action game, there's some really good things that can happen down the field for you. And then it goes back to what we all just mentioned a little while ago is you need dudes on the outside who are going to make some plays for you. It's going to be tough contested catches in this ballgame. Yep. They got a very aggressive defensive backfield that wants to get after you. And it's funny you talk about matchups to watch. Art, you read that for me?
I can't even see that. Your writing is so bad.
Your writing is so bad.
Did you go to Georgia?
What's that say right there?
Being able to block the front for Seattle.
I mean, it's uncanny when you watch it. It's like I said, Jackson's going to understand that this is going to be one of those type of ball games where you can't hold on to it.
Yeah.
And guys are going to have to be in space and make plays with it. So on the other side, I think you got to limit, and that's going to be in a moment. I'm going to leave that alone. But just defensively.
Teaser. You got a teaser.
My bad.
That was a teaser.
My bad. But I think you got spot on with just what this defense can create. And I think that's part of this ball game is not giving them those extra opportunities because of how active their defense is and turning it over a few times and giving them more chances at it. Now we're fighting from behind. So, yeah, this is a huge challenge for the Falcons. But guess what? They've had that plenty of times before this year, and you got to step to the plate and be ready to go.
Can I finish your previous sentence? Were you going to say you're going to have to limit Jackson Smith and Jigba?
It was on the way.
He was on the way.
It was on the way.
Well, I'll tell you what. Minnesota Vikings limited him last week, but they still won 26-0. Smith and Jigba, or JSN as they call him, by the way. If it gets to be too much, I think you can just go with JSN now. Pretty much everybody knows that's who he is, right?
Yeah,
I guess.
2 catches, 23 yards, no touchdowns last week. However, he's got over 1,300 receiving yards on the season. He's almost 200 full yards ahead of number 2 in the National Football League. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it also means that you can put a lot of focus on him as a defensive standpoint. If he's in the game, then you can focus a little bit on him. Now, that didn't seem to help this last weekend in Minnesota. They put a lot of focus on him and limited what he did. So this is one of the top scoring teams in the league. They're averaging about 29 points per game. The defense is number 3 in the league in allowing about 18 points a game. So there's the challenge. Can you put enough points on the board, and can you maybe take some of those possessions away from Seattle? And really, Rack, that's what it boils down to is if you can do what you did against the Jets where you can possess the football. And again, Seattle's going to come in here thinking we've got to stop the run game. We've got to limit the run game so they are in – because they can't convert on third down. I know what they're looking at. We have not been able to convert on third down. We didn't do it again this week, even though we had 25 first downs. So how do you have that advantage in time of possession? Means you're going to have to get first downs on second down. So it'll be interesting from a play call standpoint for Zach. maybe try not to get to third down. Certainly don't to get to third and long situations, because you talked about we were in pretty manageable third down situations this week and didn't really convert. Can you get first downs to stay on the field? Because as you guys just talked about, this offense is pretty prolific. They got 2 running backs that can come at you too. When you start talking about teams that have 2 running backs like we do, Charbonnet and Walker.
Yep.
Those 2 guys have shared the ball too, because one of them's got like 160 carries, the other one's got about 130 carries. So they're sharing the ball pretty good too.
And this is the last part about that. I think when you think about how they played this year, obviously they got a bunch of wins, 9 wins or whatever it is, 3 losses, but their 3 losses are by 4 points or less. So that tells you, they're in every ball game. They're not. There's no down weeks. There's no time where they're just giving stuff away. You're going to go earn it in this one, especially versus them.
Well, the elephant in their room, okay, and they know what it is that Darnold will throw you the ball.
Yes.
Got 10 of them this
Okay.
year.
Got 10
Yeah, he's got
interceptions.
10. He threw 4 in one game. I think it was against the Rams, or maybe it was against the Niners, one of their divisional opponents. But he's a guy that likes to shove it into coverage, and he will throw you the ball. So if you're on coverage, you're going to have a chance to steal it. But that's really kind of the only, if you will, I don't even know if that's an Achilles heel. But that's the one thing he will do. He's aggressive and will try to shove the ball into coverage.
That was the Rams. That was back in November on the road. Okay, he also threw 2 interceptions on the road at Pittsburgh. So 6 of the 10 have happened on the road.
They play on the road this week.
They're playing on the road this weekend.
Yeah.
All right. So, fellas, we have talked so much about keys. We've talked about matchups. I think it's safe to say it hadn't worked a whole lot. So let's try something different this time, guys. Let's talk about some moments. What are some moments, Shock, that could be created in this game to give the Falcons an edge to potentially come away with the win? Create some moments for us.
So just so you guys don't think that
Here's his disclaimer.
just so you guys don't think that I'm copying what just was talked about, I literally wrote moment in the game. It says forcing multiple turnovers of Seahawks offense.
As it turns out, next week we'll get you guys a transcript of what his notes are, so you
We'll
can
put
follow.
it
You
in
can
the
follow along with him. It's like he wants verification that he wrote it down.
If you can
we
read
trust
his
you.
handwriting.
We trust you.
I just want to make sure so you'd be like, Shock, come on. We just talked about
English
that.
teacher.
You're going to
in
use
high
that
school,
again.
She's cringing right now. Go ahead.
All right, so you're talking about creating turnovers.
Yeah, so I think obviously giving yourself extra possessions in this ball game is going to be huge. Giving yourself an opportunity to put the pressure to turn it on them. That one on there, I ain't write that one down. Yeah. So I guess I don't need to write much down. It takes time.
All right,
I come here with a blank
takeaways, create extra possessions.
Wait a minute. He said takeaways and extra possessions?
Create extra possessions.
The takeaways will create extra possessions.
will.
They are
Oh.
1 and 1.
I got you.
1A, 1B right there.
All right, so that's his moment. Arch.
Okay, well, I'm
moments?
gonna take you into the let's get your pillows, lay down. I'm gonna tell you a bedtime story here. So here we
Ladies
go.
and gentlemen,
we
the
we
moments
get
from
we
Dave
dim the
Archer.
lights a little bit, and here we go. We've played Darnold and his offense to a standstill. It's a 1-score game, and this is something.
This is great.
This is something that we have not been able to handle, and suddenly something happens. A twinkling star right here. It shines down on Kirk Cousins and this offense as he slides into the huddle. He says, boys, we're going to go win this football game. And everybody kind of leans in a little closer. And he begins to think, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get Bijan the football in the right flat. Boom. That's about 8 or 10 yards. Right. Kyle Pitt's going to run a little slant. Bang. Kyle Pitts gains about 10 or 12, runs through the safety.
Let's go, Gator. Come on.
Safety's ding. They may have to stop the game for a second, maybe get him off the field.
Okay.
Suddenly you look over, and here comes number 5 jogging onto the field. It's Drake London. We didn't expect him to play. Neither did the Seahawks, but London's on the field.
London's on the field.
The dog's on the field. You get a little back shoulder fade to London down to about the 32-yard line.
The
Now
crowd goes wild.
all of a sudden you're looking
Stand
up and
over
saying,
like
wait a
this.
minute, we can win this football game. Kirk drops the throw, and the guy that we've been wondering where he is, Darnell Mooney, splits him down through the middle. He hits Mooney for the touchdown with about 15 seconds left in the game. Mercedes-Benz crowd goes wild. They're throwing stuff on the field, tortillas, whatever you want to throw on the field. I don't know. I get it for Texas A&M or Texas Tech, a little Texas Tech stuff. They're throwing anything on the field. The places they got to clean the field off to allow Seattle to get the
Last 15 seconds.
to get the kickoff.
Yeah.
All right, you kick it out of the end zone.
Yeah,
Darnold
kick it out of the
comes-
end zone.
Kick it out of the end zone. No return.
Yeah, yeah.
No
Yep.
return. Okay, no
Don't
moments
give him a
there.
chance.
Okay, no. So Darnold gets the football. He realizes he's got to push it up the field. Jackson Smith and Jigba comes across the middle, pumps it down the middle. Jesse Bates comes in and seals the game. And Atlanta wins it. All right?
Oh, gosh, that was so good.
I'm going to go get me some leftovers.
So here's the question.
Rack, you out way.
Could you picture it? The only thing that Arch missed in that whole story was after the Mooney touchdown, while they're cleaning off the field, swag surf going on in the stadium.
Nice call.
Big
Nice
T.
call.
Big T, get the people going.
Right? Get him going.
T, get the people going.
Why did I let him go before me?
Yeah, because you can't go after that. That's crazy.
You can't go
This
after
man
that.
told a story.
I mean, he took us straight down the novel.
This
Like,
man-
we opened the book on us.
This man had a plot. Man had everything in there, boy.
Somebody
I
said,
actually
I know
thought mine was all right.
We still want to hear though,
somebody
Rack.
at home
All right,
saying,
so
I know
still wanna hear.
who's taking Benadryl now.
Can I just go ahead and take the consolation prize? My moments were going to be, oddly enough, I talked about one of the big keys was how you're going to handle the defensive front, but I'm going to talk about the Falcons defense. My moment is going to be stacking defensive plays on top of one another. What I mean by that is we're going to get a tackle for loss. Then the next play is going to be tipped ball that's going to be incomplete. The next play is going to be third and long, and it's going to be pressure coming up the field, and it's going to be Walker or Pierce with a sack.
one of them
Again,
young
the rookie's
rooks.
getting after
Ball
it.
out? All
Young
right.
rook.
Ball out?
No. We're just going to
ball
force
out,
the punt that time.
Yeah.
Then the next possession is going to come out, stuff them at the line of scrimmage.
No negative yard gain. There
We're
we
going
go.
to see tight coverage by A.J. Terrell on Smith and Jigba. Incomplete pass.
Ooh, straps.
Very next play. Yeah, you get some straps on
Straps,
that?
yeah, straps,
Very
all right.
next play, okay, it's going to be Dorless with the pressure, does not get the sack, forces the ball out of Darnold's hands,
Scoop.
but it's Watts with the interception.
Ooh.
Watts with the interception. So mine is stacking defensive plays to frustrate
like
this
it.
offense.
That's
Tackle
a
for
good
loss at the line of scrimmage, pressure, tipped passes, ultimately picks.
Love those moments.
I didn't have a story
Good moments.
like Arch did. I mean, hey, listen.
It was pretty good, though.
That was
pretty
good.
good.
Put him to sleep. On
That was good.
I mean, you went soft voice and everything. Like, it was.
What's your moment? All right? Build a moment for us.
Let's have some moments, man.
Let us know what it is. Before we go, remember, we talked about at the top of the show. Pro Bowl voting is open now.
boys
Make sure
in the
you
Pro
vote
Bowl, man.
for your favorite Falcons, what you've seen
boys
on
in
the
the Pro
field.
Bowl.
Get them to the Pro Bowl. It's a huge honor for these guys and also for the entire organization.
Shots on the ballot.
We on there.
You on the ballot?
Hey, did the Gophers win their rivalry
They
game?
beat
got-
Wisconsin.
he-
Yay!
Scotty,
Yeah.
huh? Beat Scotty?
Wisconsin's.
Was that a friends and family game? How many people were at the game?
I was in Michigan. I knew they won, but I was in Michigan. Had Ohio
it was
State,
cold,
In
Michigan.
case
Yeah.
anybody wants to know, Iowa State went down and
Yeah.
slugged out a win over Oklahoma State, who was 1-10. And I mean, they had to slug it out.
Dubs,
So there you
man.
go.
Dubs
I
are
had
dubs.
Oklahoma State the very first game of the year. That was a bad football team,
That's
unfortunately.
thrown up in your mouth.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. Make sure you continue to follow us on all of your podcast apps, okay? And like, comment, and subscribe so you can get this type of content popping up on your devices as soon as it is released, okay?
Oh, but
and then,
nobody's still eating that Thanksgiving food.
yeah, that Thanksgiving food.
I had
Oh,
some-
yeah,
gotta be
I also
good.
heard a
Last
good
night.
question. I already heard a good question this
You had
week.
a
We're not
boo-boo
going
today,
to we're not
too,
going to go into it. You can comment
You had a
here.
boo-boo. I know you
How
did.
long are Thanksgiving leftovers fair game? Let us know in the comments.
2 days.
How long
The weekend.
will you
The weekend.
legitimately
I had to go to New
eat
York.
Thanksgiving food?
That's
Do I get extended because I had to go to New York? 'Cause
You
I
get
didn't
whatever
it.
you can have
You get
whatever
an extra day. You
rationale
get an extra day.
Okay.
because it's all
Extra day, which
personal.
I had yesterday.
It's all personal.
Yeah, okay. Friday, Saturday.
You want to know my answer before we go?
Yeah.
I eat it as long as you open up the bag and it still smells good.
Bang.
That's
then-
how I grew up.
And then,
Yeah,
and then
you
and
and
then
your
gonna go
cranberry
in-
sauce,
And
you'll
then
sit
you're
in
gonna
the
go in the bathroom where it's gonna smell bad.
That's going to do it here for the
stomach gonna
Falcons Audible, presented by AT&T before Shock takes us completely off the
Yeah.
rails. That's
We're
TJ
already
Shock.
there. We're already there.
Dave Archer. I'm Derek Cracken. We'll see you next week to recap Falcons, Seahawks at home, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Go Dogs.
Row, 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 row.